Hey guys, what's up? It's AB Trades, and as always, we're going to do our daily video where we look at the stocks to watch for tomorrow. I had a few people commenting about the sound level on previous videos. I did get a new computer and sound does not pick up well on it, so I just recently picked up a mic. So I'm talking into the mic now, so I hope it goes well. If you have any comments on how to use it better, please don't hesitate to comment those below. If you've never been to this channel before, I am AB Trades, and I teach people how to day trade options. Again, I have ton of videos helping people learn strategies and what options are, but this is the daily video where I discuss the top stocks to watch out for. Every single night we start with SPY. SPY is the S&P 500 ETF. This is based off ES Mini futures, and now let's get into it. So, looking at this determines where all big name blue chip stocks go because it's an average of 500 stocks, and most of them, and even the big name stocks, have high ranking and priority in the way that this moves. So looking at SPY here, we've been running up since the start of this year, and now we formed this doji here at around 2750, right? 27.5. Now that we're here, this is a crucial area of resistance. We've been looking at this area of resistance since back October, November area, even into December, right? This has been our area of consolidation. This range comes in here at about 271, as well as previous resistance here at 275. Now we're actually seeing that come into effect here on SPY currently. We're seeing it push up here to the upside, and now we're forming this doji and indecision candle here as we're pushing up. We may see a reversal here down to the downside. If we do see this reversal, we're going to be looking for a downside of 273. If we can break the level of 273, then we'll be looking for the next level of 271.54. So again, our bias on tomorrow is that we're going to be red and break through or to 273. If we break down to 273 and find some support, we'll be bouncing on that level and making our way back up to 280. Again, our overhead resistance here is at 275, and now we have this high of day that we'll be watching out for. Just something I want to mention to those traders, because I know a lot of the traders in the group trade SPY. When there's a stock called it's almost like a traffic light where you have red, yellow, green, right? So you have red, yellow, green. So the way that most stocks work is when you're bouncing into a resistance point, you have red, fail, yellow, getting closer, green, breakout. When we did not get this green breakout on the third try and we came back and retested with this doji, it was an apparent short. So I just want to make sure that is clear for other people who are trading. That's just something helpful to know. So as always, we now know what we're looking at on SPY. We're looking at a bias to the downside. It says on the 15-minute. And we're looking for it to bounce. But again, if we break today's high, then we'll be looking for upside potential. Now let's start to cover the stocks mentioned. If you want me to cover your stock, click on the first link below. That is Discord. That is our free group that we go to talk. First stock mentioned today is Facebook. So looking at Facebook here, as we've been mentioning, we have this floor here at 162.73. This floor here may drop. It's like taking a sledgehammer, hitting this floor from underneath your feet and watching it fall. That's what we'll have here on Facebook. So we're watching this level here. We're watching for it to break below this. If it breaks below this, we have room back down to 153, 152. If we can stay in the range of consolidation here between 152 and 173, then we'll be trading range bound here in between these things. If not, we'll break above 166 tomorrow. That's played as a crucial support and resistance here on Facebook, especially looking intraday here. Back in on Monday, we used it as a double bottom support here, and then we came in and we used it as a place to flush under. We even used it as resistance today. So we'll be watching Facebook reacting around 166 and see what happens there on Facebook. The next stock being mentioned is MSFT, being Microsoft here. As always, like I mentioned the past few times, we have this overall downtrend that we're looking at on Microsoft. This downtrend here is pushing us lower, and we're actually starting to make these new highs at around 108. 108 is acting as a crucial resistance point here and pulling us down. As you can see here, we've had a red day today as well with the rest of the market. We're looking for a retracement here on Microsoft down to lows of around 104, 105 because of this resistance and overhead here. We've been making these lower highs here, and this shouldn't be changing, right? Again, we still have this trend line here that we're holding to the upside, so we'll be watching for a pullback here to around 106. If we break below 106, we have lower. If not, we'll build a support here, and with volume, we'll see a push up higher. That's the outlook on Microsoft. Next stock mentioned was Tesla. Tesla was the stock to play today, or at least one of the many stocks to play today. And looking out here at Tesla, you can see here we had this original triangle breakout here down to the downside with decreasing volume and the increased volume showing that downside, and then we had some call plays to the upside. But again, that's not what you want to know. You want to know what's the outlook for Tesla coming up. As always, we have the support and resistance that Tesla plays into. 380, 360, 340, 320, 300, 280, and down there to 250. So these are the levels that we're looking at. The most recent one that will come into effect is $300. So we're seeing this pullback on Tesla right now. If we can see it pull back to 300, we might see a support or break. Or we can break up to the upside above today's high and maybe even see a rejection at 320. That's the projections on Tesla today and the upcoming movement. So if we're going to be looking here at Tesla again, let's look at the other stocks that were mentioned. We also have SQ. SQ is Square. Square again, we have this long-term triangle here. We're starting to actually slow down here. Consolidation is moving up. That means the volume is decreasing. This volume of decreasing is showing that something's going to happen here, most likely consolidating into a form of a triangle while we have this earnings report coming out on 2/27. Again, we have some time. We have 17 days out. 14 days out to wait for that, but we still have this range of consolidation. So we're looking for volume to pick up on the daily to find a move here in Square. So really Square can break either way, but we're looking for volume to confirm that move. DRIP was the next stock mentioned. I'm not going to cover DRIP. It is a ETF on oil, I believe. Maybe trust, yeah, S&P oil. Again, oil is moving a lot. CL futures have been running, well, not running, but dipping a lot recently. But when it comes down to the trade tab and looking at specifically the options market on this, we're looking at a 10-cent spread, and even if I add the open interest and volume, there's no point. It's not there. The trade is not there for options, so that's not what we're looking at. We're going to skip DRIP. Also mentioned UWT. That's also going to be a no. One that I also saw was AMRS that he mentioned. Look, 5-cent spread, 30-cent spread. We're not going to be trading options on this stock at all. Not going to be covered. SCNG is also one that we're looking at. We have a 20-cent spread, and even looking out here, we have a 35-cent spread. That's not something we want to see. Volume here is around half the money. That's not something we're looking at. Maybe a good trade. If you like the trade, and because it's coming up on earnings or has been passed on earnings, trade it with stock, not options. All right, looking here, the next one was Shopify, SHOP. If we're looking at SHOP, this came off earnings here and dipped real hard. Coming back on the 15-minute, just so that we see that we kind of actually put in this double top here at 180 at the whole number resistance point of 180. That's crucial. So now we'll be looking for a reversal. If you can see here that we had a lot of upside here on Shopify. Now that we're looking at 180, we actually have some downside down to 170, maybe even 150, where prior support has come into play on this stock. Again, watching out, we're still in this wedge here and we broke out. So we still have room to test back to 150 and reverse back to the upside. For now, with the rest of the market, we're looking for some downside on Shopify. But again, if we can break above 180, we'll see that huge volume push as well to the upside. Looking here, also mentioned Loco. I've never seen this ticker symbol mentioned, so we're going to take a quick look here. Again, it looks pretty volatile. It looks good. Let's look at the trade tab here. Volume 51 today, not something we're looking at. We're going to skip Loco. GE mentioned. I love GE. GE is one of my top go-to stocks. General Electric, and always has some good plays with good risk to reward on them. Looking here at the daily, we were trending up the day, which is very contrary to the market, where we kind of saw that dip. So now that we're up above this level here that we couldn't break on Monday and Tuesday, the 10-15 level, we're actually seeing volume start to step up here for an upside move. This qualifies for a top 10% continuation play on GE for the upcoming days. So we'll be looking at that on the 5-minute here. If we can break above 1041 during aftermarket and pre-market tomorrow, we'll be seeing it test the highs of 1077, or at least that's where prior resistance was on here, maybe even up to 1091. But again, it all depends on the market. So again, we're going to be watching GE for that 10% continuation play in the morning. NVIDIA, Apple, AMD. So let's cover those few here. NVIDIA has been running, and now it looks like it hit a resistance point here at prior resistance. It looks like we may actually have some room back down to the downside here. Qualifying almost as a bottom 10% continuation play here. We may see some move to the downside following the rest of the market, the S&P 500s, and we might actually see it fall down to even 150 where this prior resistance came in. Usually where triangles tend to form and consolidation makes, if you draw it right through the middle, that's where you will see your next support. Seeing next support here coming down to 150. So we'll be watching the 150 level as well as the 156 level on NVIDIA coming in tomorrow. Next stock I wanted to mention is AMD. AMD is definitely a volatile stock that respects ranges. If you can see here, 2320 was a level of resistance. We've kind of formed that double top and then sold off with the market today. But we're looking at long term, right? If you see here, we're actually in this channel here. Volume's been starting to slowly decline, so we don't really know what to expect from here. We do have some downside, and if we do have downside, we have support here at 2221. So we'll be watching for 2221 as well as the break above this double top, see some volumes to test 2371. So again, we have those two levels to watch out for. Next two stocks, let's see what else we want to mention. People mentioning Microsoft, Apple SPY. Currently, someone looking at CAGR. Crazy 128%. They just mentioned that about a minute ago. Let's quickly take a look at that actually. CAGR. Again, no idea what that is. Not going to look at that then. Let's go to the last stocks mentioned, Visa and PayPal. So Visa here coming up, or it looks like today is actually the day of dividend report. So we're actually going to see a 25-cent tomorrow. The stock will take an automatic 25-cent dip because of the money that's being extracted for dividend release. Now that we're seeing that, we're actually coming up into this whole number support of 145. We're going to see this dip down of 25 cents back to around 142. Well, I mean, it's going to be 43 even, but that's going to be where support comes into play here. Support's going to come into play around 143. We may see some consolidation on this and a bounce up. Looking long term on the daily chart, we actually have a lot of resistance here around 145. So we can see a resistance point of 1, 2. If we get this third break up, like I mentioned, the red, yellow, green, go. If we can't break above on this attempt tomorrow, then we'll be seeing a sell-off back down to 125. We've been making these lower lows, and we can expect that to happen again on Visa. Last stock we're going to mention today is PayPal, PYPL. Again, we're looking at the same thing. We're actually making all-time highs in PayPal. That's good to see. Let's see here on the 15-minute. If we're taking a look here, it really doesn't like this $96 point. We kind of gapped up into it this morning and got rejected. Again, PayPal has a lot of room to the upside, but we're going to be tracing these previous highs here where we actually saw some consolidation today. We're breaking between these lows, and we have these next supports here at 92. So this $92 will be playing as our support if we can dip down here to 92 and maybe find some room back up to the upside. Again, we're making all-time highs, so we're going to be dipping down and we're going to be pushing into whole number levels. So I'll be watching out for that. All right, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. See y'all tomorrow night.